so great to be with you. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I am thrilled to be here with you guys tonight. And of course, my only sadness is that it's not with Charlie. Charlie asked me to go on the tour with him a couple of months ago, and we were going back and forth on which stop would make the most sense. And he proposed one date and I couldn't do it, or the other way around. And we settled on Virginia Tech a while ago. And he was so looking forward to this. I was just talking to Erica, and she wanted to tell me that, number one, wanted me to tell you, he's so looking forward to this. He so wanted to be here with you. And that she is so proud of you for showing up. And she also wanted me to tell you that she's got your back. Turning Point has got your back. I guess I wanted to start with just thanking you for showing up. Showing up. They say half of life is showing up, and you did that. And in this particular circumstance, showing up is courageous, given what happened with Charlie. And I'm sure many of you thought about it. I'm sure many of you had conversations with your parents about it. Is it safe? Should I do it? Am I going to be okay? And I had conversations with my family about it too. But I think we all came for the same reason. Obviously, to hear me. But really, the reason is to send a message that we will not be silenced by an assassin's bullet, by a heckler's veto, by a left-wing woke professor, or anyone who tries to silence us from saying what we really believe. Those days are done. They're really done. The last in-person conversation I had with Charlie was in July, and you just saw a tiny clip of it at the end of that reel. We were in Tampa at the Turning Point event, and we did a long segment. We talked about Epstein, we talked about a bunch of stuff, and we finished it with Charlie asking me, what advice do you have for all these students here? Because it was the Student Action Summit, so it was a bunch of young people just like you. And it wasn't rehearsed. He didn't know what I was going to say. We just happened to have a lot of shared values. And I said, say the thing you really want to say. Say what you really believe. Say what's actually in your heart. Don't go along with what the professor wants you to say just to get a pat on the head or a good grade. It's truly, deeply important. And let me explain why. You know the basics, but let me explain more. For too long, what's been happening in college campuses and high schools and middle schools, for that matter, and possibly below, is that students who are right-leaning or conservative in thought or independent-minded even, and may have heterodox thinking on whatever issue of the day it is, have been clamming up. Because we all know very well that 99% of our professors are leftists, and they're not going to like us if they find out that we're not. And they will like us more if they at least think we might be leftists, like there's still a chance. And we're not going to get as good a grade on our paper if we write right-wing things instead of left-wing things. If we take all the positions that they want us to take, especially on cultural issues, we're going to be well-liked and well-graded. And maybe you want to go to med school. Maybe you want to go to grad school. So your grades matter. So you figure, I'm just going to play along for the short term, for the long-term gain. And then finally, maybe when I get out there into the world, I can say how I feel. At that point, I can express my actual beliefs. But what happens is, you get into grad school or med school or law school, and you just run into a bunch more of the same kind of professors. They're just giving you a different degree. So the game has to keep going, because your grades don't stop mattering when you get into law school or med school or grad school. You could argue they matter even more, because now you're competing for your real job at the end of this particular stint. So you need to have the perfect A's in your med school. You've got to, these are competitive people. We're all doctors, we're all lawyers, we're all grad students. So you keep doing it, this routine. And then you get hired at a hospital or a law firm or a company that likes these grades and has no idea who you really are because you've done nothing. You haven't put anything on your resume that would telegraph you might not be like-minded to them. You might actually be on the right side of the aisle. So they welcome you into their company. And then you may find out the hard way, a year or two or more into it, that there has been a mismatch. Because they're not looking for somebody who thinks the way you do, who loves America the way you do, who believes in personal integrity the way you do. They're looking for a woke duck that's going to follow in line behind without making too much noise. And they see on your resume, you are such a person. You never caused trouble. You didn't put Turning Point USA on your resume while applying. You didn't walk into that interview with your advanced history or, politics and gov essay and a D on the front of it, and you didn't hold it up like a badge of honor saying, let me show you what I wrote and why I got this D. Because I refused to write that capitalism is bad. I refused to write that men can become women. I refused to say the Second Amendment should be repealed. I refused to say that hate speech is not free speech. I refused and told that employer right from the get-go who you really were, so that at a minimum, if you weren't like-minded, you had a basic respect for the fact that you stand up for what you believe in and you don't lie about what's important to you. And so what needs to happen now for a couple of reasons. To ensure that your long-term marriage with your corporate employer, whoever it may be, is a good one, is a real one, and is founded on ideal principles. You don't have to wear your politics on your sleeve, but you can't hide them anymore. You can't hide them anymore because of the second reason, which is, simply put, there is safety in numbers. You know the "We are all Charlie Kirk" that we've been saying and hearing? That's more than a slogan. We're saying that because we believe in Charlie's ideals, we believe in what he stood for, and we want to reinforce in our own personal lives. But "We are Charlie Kirk" means something more to me. If you say it, and 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 you say it, then it is less dangerous for me to be up here, or for you to be up here the next time, or for you guys to be in class writing what's true, or for you guys to apply for that internship or corporate job or med school, whatever it is. We know we're in the majority. We know that conservatives are in the majority in the United States of America. That is why we have Trump as 47. So why are we so afraid? We're the majority. Why are we so afraid? Because we are indoctrinated for the first 25 years of our lives in leftist institutions that try to make us little leftists, or at least afraid, scared, cowering conservatives who don't want anyone to know. Let it out. Say it loud, say it proud. There's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful. Stop hiding it. Stand up for what you believe in. Be respectful of the other side, just like Charlie was. You don't have to own your professor or, be a jerk. But they're not allowed to own you or be a jerk to you either. We've been going along with that, letting them do that to us for too long, and it's bull. You know me and my potty mouth if you listen to the show, but this is a Charlie event, so I'm going to keep it clean. I'm going to try. So you have to. Now you have to. And by the way, having been canceled from a job very publicly, can I tell you, it's better for you if you really do have your principles line up with those of your employer. I've actually come around to the place where I love cancel culture. I actually think it separates a person from a place at which they did not belong. You don't get canceled from a company that shares your values. Time after time, these cancellations have worked to remove, I would say, liberate many of us from a place that was positively vile. What? Was that out loud? So you've got to do it. So find your courage. Find your strength and show up. Show up for yourself. Be honest. Bring your integrity into the room. Stand up for your principles. Stop hiding them. Don't let a professor berate you out of them, and you remind them that you, not they, are in the majority.